that raises the question, have you ruled out aliens or extraterrestrials? And if so, why? Because that is what everyone is asking us right now.
Yeah, thanks for the question, Helene. I'll let the intel community and the counterintelligence community figure that out. I haven't ruled out anything at this point. We continue to assess every threat or potential threat unknown that approaches North America with the attempt to identify it.
Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are all having a really good day. Happy Monday, you guys. Listen, I am about to probably blow your guys' mind. I have stumbled upon a lot of information, and if you're here it's because you are also very curious about what is going on right now in the world with all of these UFO sightings, okay? And why is the government and the White House and, all the leading, people, why are they choosing to talk about this when literally this, I believe it was this year, or end of last year, that they reported 171 sightings of UFOs, but they are now talking about the ones that are happening recently. Why are they choosing to talk about these and not the ones that they've been hiding? And the ones that they've been hiding for many years. And I can tell you with all, my name is Sebastian. I know this. I feel it in my heart. I believe that we are very much soon going to be introduced to the UFOs. And I know it sounds crazy, you guys, but you have to be very dense if you think that we are the only beings in this whole universe. You know what I mean? Now listen, grab a snack and a drink. I have a lot of clips that I want to show you guys. We're going to talk about it. I understand that not everyone is a believer, but you have to be able to open your mind just a little bit, okay? So now that I have your attention, make sure you hit that subscribe button, okay? I'm gonna play some clips for you that I found that are very interesting. The first one yesterday was the Super Bowl, okay? And of course, the whole world was watching the Super Bowl, but the White House decided to give a press conference during the Super Bowl. And I really do believe that something is going on right now. And I think that we are about to really find out finally that we are not alone, okay? And I know I sound like Men in fucking Black, but it's the truth. So this is a video at the White House and in a press conference, okay? This is a video and we're gonna watch it.
So I can confirm that the Department of Defense was tracking a high altitude object over Alaska airspace in the last 24 hours. The object was flying at an altitude of 40,000 feet and posed a reasonable threat to the safety of civilian flight. Out of an abundance of caution and at the recommendation of the Pentagon, President Biden ordered the military to down the object. And they did. And it came inside our territorial waters. Those waters right now are frozen, but inside territorial airspace and over territorial waters. Fighter aircraft assigned to U.S. Northern Command took down the object within the last hour. Yes, the president absolutely was involved in this decision. He ordered it at the recommendation of Pentagon leaders. He wanted it taken down, and they did that. They did it using fighter aircraft assigned to U.S. Northern Command. The Pentagon will have more to say about the details of this later on this afternoon. It's only just within the last hour. We're calling this an object because that's the best description we have right now. We do not know who owns it, whether it's state-owned or corporate-owned or privately owned. We just don't know. We don't know. As I said, state-owned. We don't know if it's state-owned, and we don't understand the full purpose. We don't have any information that would confirm a stated purpose for this object. We do expect to be able to recover the debris since it fell not only within our territorial space, but on what we believe is frozen water. So a recovery effort will be made, and we're hopeful that it'll be successful, and then we can learn a little bit more about it.
Was its appearance like the Chinese aircraft?
No, it was much smaller than the spy balloon that we took down last Saturday. The way it was described to me was roughly the size of a small car, as opposed to a payload that was like 2 or 3 buses size, right? So much smaller, and not of the same, no significant payload, if you will.
And lastly, is it now the policy of the United States that if unidentified aircraft are over U.S. territory, that it is likely the president will choose to shoot it down?
The president will always act in the best interest of our national security and in the safety and security of the American people. So I can confirm.
Okay, so this is the third sighting of a UFO, okay? This is the third one in a week. They are not, as you can see, they don't know much, right? Or that is what they want us to believe.
Have you ruled out if these things are that we are shooting out of the sky? That raises the question, have you ruled out aliens or extraterrestrials? And if so, why? Because that is what everyone is asking us right now.
And thanks for the question, Colleen. I'll let the intel community and the counterintelligence community figure that out. I haven't ruled out anything at this point. We continue to assess every threat or potential threat unknown that approaches North America with an attempt to identify it.
So just that, okay, you guys, so just the fact that they allowed this question, the fact that he answered this question, and that they have not ruled out that if this is in fact aliens, you guys, this is probably the biggest breakthrough that there has ever been regarding the UFO alien conversation, right? We have never gotten this far before. And truthfully, you guys, I really feel that we are in very close time to really be introduced to something that the US government and the whole world leaders have known about for years.
It is not common to scramble airplanes to shoot down things out of the sky. And now we have 3 in the last 7 days. People are rightful to be a little bit, to view this as a little bit disconcerting. I don't remember a single time that a Canadian Prime Minister sought NORAD to shoot something out of Canadian skies. I think this is unprecedented.
Someone is testing us to see just how sensitive our system is. The decision that's clearly been made by President Biden, by Prime Minister Trudeau, is to err on the side of taking things down and showing a big demonstration of defending territory.
Okay, I have always believed that there has to be life outside of this planet because, you guys, there's so many things that we have never understood. For example, the pyramids, how did they get there, right? You know, there's so many questions, and we all seem to be like okay with like really mediocre answers. And you know, I had this conversation yesterday, and you know, I said to one of my girlfriends, I was like, how do we know that we are not being men in black, right? That there's not a little thing that, you know, kind of wipes up our memories of things that we have maybe seen. And she actually happened to talk about what if there is something in nature, there is something that we all have access to and that it has access to us that does wipe our brains and we forget things that maybe we have seen. And then we came up with the sun. What if the sun was made, okay, to do that? What if, I mean, there's so many questions, you know. There's the question of faith, you know. I have strong faith in God. And I don't believe that believing in other beings has anything to do with God. You know what I mean? I don't think it has anything to do with a lack of faith or not believing in faith. You know what I mean? There's definitely many questions, but I feel like we all have to be open because there's many parts in the world that are experiencing objects, flying objects, and they have experienced this for years, and it has never really made it to the media. You know, it really hasn't made it to mainstream media. There's been a lot of videos, a lot of conspiracies, a lot of things, but you guys, I really think that we are in the very close proximity of being told we're not alone, and we haven't been alone. You know what I mean? I think that all of this is happening, and that the White House is finally talking and speaking because they are preparing us for when that conversation does come. Now, some people believe that they are no longer hiding it and that they're giving us little hints because, you know, many conspiracies. But one thing that I maybe believe is the following. I think that the world leaders, right, have had this like pact with, you know, the other beings, okay? And I believe that these other beings maybe now have like a pact with the world leaders that, you know, now is the time that they will be introduced to us, and that we are now being prepared to be introduced. I think that we are now all seeing flying objects. I have told you guys about my personal experiences, but I'm gonna actually open up to you about one experience that I have always kept private. I understand that a lot of people might, you know, not believe these things, or, you know, choose not to believe it, but I really just hope you have an open mind. So basically, my grandfather, he in Colombia had a huge farm, right? And a lot of land. And at nighttime, he would get on his Jeep and he would, you know, roam the lands, right? And he would just like roam around and this and that, you know, under the moon and the stars. And my grandfather was a very, very serious man. He was not a, you know, he was from the Marine. He was very, very structured, very, very correct. You know, he believed a lot in serious conversations. You know, he wasn't your normal grandfather, right? He was his, you know, there's a lot of history in that, in my family. But anyways, I think that my grandfather 100% saw what he has said. Now, he never really shared this information with a lot of people. He only shared it with my grandmother, and then she shared it with us. So basically, my grandfather was roaming the lands, and he saw something different in the night. He saw a green kind of light, you know, and this was years ago. There was no drones. There was, you know, nothing like that. So he saw like a green light, and my grandmother said that he thought it was some kind of like shooting stars or something like that. So, you know, that was very common over there. But my grandfather, he always seemed very quiet about a lot of things. And my grandmother said that he had a lot of different things that he had to keep a secret. So he had a lot of secrets about the world, right? That he was, you know, told. Well, anyways, and I say that because I firmly believe that he believed in that, because he probably had information that he got, right? So he says that he stopped the car because the light was getting bigger and bigger. And then he said that next thing he knows, the Jeep stopped. It shut down completely. And then he said that next thing you know, he feels himself basically, you know, levitating. And he feels himself levitating. But my grandmother said that he didn't feel scared. He felt very numb. And he basically believed that he was dreaming, but he also knew that this was real. So it was sort of like a fight or flight thing. Like if I tell myself I'm dreaming, I'm not going to freak out, right? And he said that he felt very numb. So he was rising up, and then he said that it was very, very cold. He said he entered, it was like a facility, and it was incredibly cold. And he did say that he was worked on. And my grandfather, like I mentioned before, he was introduced to a lot of information. My grandfather was very intelligent, and he was a very respected, serious man. I mean, there was about 500 to 900 people who came to his funeral. He was very loved. He was very, very respected. And everyone knew him to be serious. He wasn't a drinker. He wasn't anything like that. He was very, so that is why when he did tell my grandmother this and we found out, I mean, he wasn't the type to just tell stories. You know what I mean? So he said next thing you know, he was kind of being attached to things, right? And he was being worked on, but he said he felt very calm and that he actually felt kind of happy, like in a way that my grandmother said that he kind of alluded to the idea that he knew this was going to happen at some point in his life. So it was like he was relieved that he was living through it, if that makes sense. So anyways, he says next thing you know, he wakes up in his Jeep the next day. So it was already daytime. Like, this was night, he woke up in the daytime. And when he woke up, he felt like a different person. And he felt a lot more energy, okay? And my grandfather actually, I know this is gonna sound crazy to you, but I will tell you this. And I say it with a lot of love and respect because this is something that we cherish a lot in our family. But I had really bad asthma when I was a kid. In fact, I had many asthma attacks, and I'm so I have so much trauma from them that I have so many inhalers everywhere. I mean, I have literally 5 inhalers next to my bed. I have in my closet. I have in all my purses and all my bags because I'm so, I haven't had asthma in years. And one night, this was years after this happened to him, and we were in his farm, and this was maybe like 3 years after it happened, I believe. It was like not recent, but kind of recent. And I started coughing a lot, and I was getting asthma, and I did not have an inhaler, or I ran out, something like that. And from the farm to the city, the capital, it was like an hour and a half drive. So we were all freaking out. I must have been like, I don't know, 8 or 9. I don't remember. I do remember a little bit of this, but my grandfather calls my grandmother calls my grandfather in the room, and she tells this story. She told it until she was, very old. He came in and he put his hand sort of like Reiki on me. Now, mind you, my grandfather, he was not into, any of these spiritual things, okay? But after this, after what happened to my grandmother said that he changed a lot, for, more spiritual, more calmer, even more nicer. And I just remember feeling his hands in my chest like this. And I was wearing clothes, okay? He was doing like this. And I just remember a burning feeling. Like I was burning. But like, it's sort of like a very, like when you go into a jacuzzi, like you just feel that really, really hot, but it kind of feels good. So I just remember his hand here, and he started like humming a little bit. And then he literally said, close your eyes. And I kid you not, you guys, I swear on everything that is holy to me, I never got asthma again, ever again, okay? And my grandmother, she's never seen this side of him. And she just saw that he got up and he went outside and just sort of like cooled off because he was sweating so much. And I was healed. And I've never had an asthma attack ever again, thank God. And I'm saying that I don't know where it came from. He never studied Reiki, he never studied any kind of spiritual things, but after that, he became very much into the spiritual world. So, whatever happened that night, whether you want to believe it or not, I believe it because I can tell you my grandfather was not like a storyteller or anything like this. So I do believe that we are not alone. I've always believed that. And I've always believed that, we have to be open to the idea of not being alone. Because, I really do think, and I can feel it in my heart, that I think soon the whole world is going to change. And there's a lot of things that you guys, I haven't opened up, I haven't opened up to you guys about, but there's a lot about me that you don't know and that I've kept to myself for forever, And I might tell you guys one day, because I do think that this is very, very, I just think that it's time. But I'm going to just kind of little by little open up. But this is very interesting to me because this has been a conversation in my family for many years, and I've had my own experiences, and I've shared those with you guys. So anyways, I'm very excited to see what's gonna happen. I believe that, I don't believe that it's a bad thing. I think it's a good thing, in a way. I think it's a good thing because I do believe that maybe they have things that we might need. And I think that it could definitely benefit us. So I hope you enjoyed this video. It's a very different video, but I'm very passionate about these topics, and not just because of personal experiences, but just because also it excites me to know that, something is coming, and I believe we're getting prepared for it, And again, I believe in God, and your faith is different than mine. I believe that God made the whole universe. That is my belief. And it might not be what you were taught or what you learned. And I think we have to respect that. First is my faith, and second then is the belief that there is more species and more beings than us. So what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want more of these videos, I hope you do, because I really, really enjoy talking about this. I have a lot of experiences, and I have a lot of things that I haven't told you guys, and I'm excited to open up. It's something that I've prayed on for a very long time. I keep hitting my feet in the damn seat. It's something that I have talked about, or not talked about, that I have experienced. And I actually want to show you guys something. I want to introduce to you guys my grandfather in the farm that I was telling you guys about. So this was him. As you can see, this was the farm. And this was after that. He always, as I remember him, he was always in a suit and tie. Every time. And then after some time, he started dressing a little more calm, and he started, that was the farm I told you guys about. So that's him. Anyways, I love you all. I'm grateful for you. And let me know if you want more of these videos. I would be very happy to show them to you. All right. Have a great day, and don't forget to subscribe.